Ahead of its Euro 2024 qualifier against Slovakia, Cristiano Ronaldo has been speaking, once again captain of his country. Ronaldo was asked about his legendary rivalry with Lionel Messi. Both players are enjoying success with their new clubs. Ronaldo with 6 goals in 5 league matches for Al Nassr and Messi with 11 in 10 for Inter Miami.
Não vejo as coisas assim, não há... Rivalidade já foi, mas era uma rivalidade boa, que os espectadores gostavam bastante, mas não é quem gosta do Cristiano não tem que odiar o Messi ou vice-versa, porque são os dois bons, ou muito bons, que mudaram a história do futebol e continuam a mudar, e somos respeitados em todo o mundo. Acho que isso é o mais importante, e ele está a fazer o seu caminho, como eu faço o meu, independentemente de jogarmos fora da Europa. Ele tem feito bem, pelo aquilo que eu tenho visto, e eu também tenho feito as coisas bem, e a continuar. O legado continua, mas a rivalidade não. Eu não vejo as coisas assim, porque até já disse algumas vezes, compartimos muitas vezes o palco, 15 anos, e acabamos por ser, não digo amigos, porque nunca jantei com ele, mas somos colegas de profissão, respeitamos mutuamente.
For the record, the two have met on 37 occasions, with Messi winning 17 to Ronaldo's 11, and fittingly, both scoring 23 goals in those matches. Okay, so is it finally over? Is it done? Is this rivalry that we've been talking about for 15 years finally behind us, in the past, never to debate again?
It's over.
It is.
I think it's been over since Ronaldo left La Liga. That was it. Right? That was the rivalry. It was two of the best players in the world playing for the two best teams in the world, going head to head every single year. And that was the rivalry. And once he left, I think that was it.
Yeah, I mean, people are still going to bring it up and people are going to talk about it and potentially look at it as maybe the best sports rivalry between players ever. So in that sense, it's not over. But I agree, like, the debate was put to rest, I feel like, a long time ago. But you'll still have your diehard Ronaldo fans that are going to try
and by the way,
argue.
this is not going to be a conversation about who's better. Just so you know.
No, we're doing
There's
goat
no
talk.
conversation.
We're not doing that.
There isn't one. There's not a conversation
here we
to be
go.
had.
No,
We're
we're not doing that because I'm so bored of that argument, right? And it's subjective. I think it's Messi. You think it's Messi.
You think it's Messi.
But we're not talking
I'm in
about
the middle.
that. Okay, we're not talking about that. It's about this rivalry.
Right.
What if though? I mean, there's still potential if they both stick around for their countries in the World Cup in 2026. There's still potential we could see them face each other one more time on the biggest stage. We haven't seen them play for each other's countries against each other yet, right? That's the one tiny thing that this rivalry's been missing, I think, over the years. It could happen in 2026, in which case this thing's once again alive and well, right?
I don't see it happening, though. I mean, because Messi's already saying he's probably not going to play in the World Cup. We're assuming that he will.
Probably, yeah.
We're assuming that he will because we want to see him play. And based on the way that he's playing, it's like, of course he still has the capability to do so. When it comes to Ronaldo, I don't even think that's a sure thing that he makes the Portuguese team. Yeah, okay, he's playing in the Euro qualifiers. Maybe the Euros is it, right? So I'm not even going to look that far ahead.
Probably should be it.
Right.
But what do you think about Messi? Do you think he's going to stick around for 2026? He's in North America.
He
He owns North America right now.
A lot of
Yeah,
football.
but I don't think that's a concern for him. I think it's going to be how Argentina fends in the Copa America, because I could see it both ways. I could see if they win it, he's going to be like, you know what, back-to-back Copas with the World Cup in between, what a way to go out. But then if they lose it, I could also see him kind of being like, okay, I can't get this team to win. Like, my time is done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I could see, depending on what happens either way, I think that will be his farewell internationally.
Like, he can end his career potentially with an 8th Ballon d'Or and another Copa America. That
A
can
Copa,
happen.
a World, a Copa, 8 ball, like, oh.
MLS Cup.
And the Leagues Cup.
And a Leagues Cup.
And
right?
a U.S. Open Cup?
I mean, what a way to go out.
Maybe.
What a way to go out, right?
Yeah.
That is maybe, I thought winning the World Cup was a way to go out. But if he does that, then
That's leaving on a high.
that's leaving on a high. That's what you got to do. Players don't always leave on highs. I mean, look
But
at a
if he
player like
does it-
Zidane, right?
Yeah.
Everybody remembers Zidane for what he did in the 2006 World Cup final.
People that don't understand football remember that, right?
This is
we
true.
remember
This is true.
Zidane for what he was.
But you bring up Zidane in most conversations, like, oh, remember when he headbutted Materazzi?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he was like the most beautiful
Best,
player on the
yeah.
pitch. Like when you think of Zidane, you think of his touch, that goal in the Champions League, you know, that Panenka against Buffon in 2006. Like, he just thinks so much more. But unfortunately, he didn't leave on a high. Messi has a chance to do that. Ronaldo doesn't.
I do wonder. I mean, like you mentioned that. I do wonder if he wins Copa, the World Cup's not far away, right? And if he's still playing at a decent standard, which he probably will in
Sharps, I know.
MLS because of the quality of MLS, he'll still be, I would think, scoring goals in a couple of years' time. It'd be something. Maybe, as it's been rumored too, he goes back to Barcelona for that last year of his career and then caps it off with a World Cup. I don't know. It's fascinating. Do you think that the rivalry between these two was so great because it was El Clasico, because it was Real against Barcelona? Had he stayed at Manchester United, would it have been the same?
I personally don't think so, and this isn't even just being a Barca fan, but because those two teams, like Albert said, at the time were the best teams in the world, right? That era of especially Mourinho and Guardiola. Not to mention that El Clasico is so politically triggering as well for Spain. Like, there's so much behind just that game. It's way more about football. So there were so many factors involved. And then you bring the two best players at the time playing at the two best teams. Like, I don't think it would have been the same if he stayed at Manchester United, because you also wouldn't see them playing all the time, because Barcelona and Real Madrid probably played at least twice in the league, and then you would see them in the Copa del Rey, and then you would see them in the Spanish Supercopa. Like, they played at least like 4 times a year.
37 times in all.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But if he was at like Manchester United, maybe if they got the luck of the draw with the Champions League,
Maybe,
right?
yeah.
So I just don't think it would have been elevated to this level.
The conversation would have still been there because they still both would have been fighting for Ballon d'Ors.
Sure.
So it would have been like, here's Ronaldo, here's Messi. But it would, there's no way it's the same. At the time, listen, the Premier League was popular, but La Liga was at the top.
Yeah.
Right? That was the league to watch, and it was because of those two players and because of those two teams.
Yeah. So we talk about great rivalries between athletes. And this to me is the greatest one, because it's been over 15 years, and like we mentioned, 37 times they met.
Yeah.
And even though they didn't dislike each other, there was some friction there. Maybe the media pushed it, maybe the fans pushed it, but there's a little bit of friction there, I think, despite what Ronaldo and Messi might say now. But other great rivalries, what would become close to it, do you think? Have you got some examples?
Yeah, I would say, probably Magic and Larry Bird. I mean, that lasted.
That's a good one.
That lasted a very long time. Like, it started essentially in like '79 when they met in the NCAA final and went on to the late 90s. They've played each other 3 times in finals. That's probably pretty close, but it wasn't on a global scale to what Messi and Ronaldo was, and probably it still is to a lot of people. Maybe, I don't know, Ollie Frazier.
I was thinking that too.
I mean, those two, they hated each other.
Fought
That was the
3
difference.
times, right?
They fought 3 times, but there was
Yeah.
a hatred there.
Yeah. I think you need that hatred. That's why
Ronaldo and Messi, there wasn't hatred.
Rafa Nadal.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was a great rivalry, right?
They were literally
But-
obsessed with each other.
Yeah, and there wasn't friction there, was there?
Yeah, I'd say
They're too
more
nice.
like Rafa and Djokovic would have been a little bit more triggering, just because Djokovic had that kind of personality when he was coming up. But I mean, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning was a pretty
That's a good one.
ongoing one.
Yeah.
But again, there was so much respect, and even when
Nobody
you think
actually
of, like,
hated each other.
who?
Nobody actually hated each other in these
and, like,
rivalries.
the thing
Sampras
is,
Agassi, same thing.
same
Right.
thing. Pele and Maradona is also like probably the closest one in football, but they didn't even play at the same
No,
time.
different
People
eras.
just made that the rivalry because you had the first superstar, which was Pele, and then you had Maradona come around like 20 years later. So those were the only two to compare. It was Brazil, it was Argentina, but they weren't playing at the same. Like, that's such a weird one to me, because I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. But I don't think that any sport rivalry between players has ever been on the level of these two.
I will say you should both, after this, Google Steve Davis and Alex Higgins.
Is this a snooker thing?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, here we go.
Just
Here we
saying.
go.
There's a
I
lot of
was
friction there.
looking through like old rivalries and stuff, and a funny one popped up: Mario Icardi and Maxi Lopez.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
there's other reasons for that rivalry, though,
Oh
right?
my God! I was looking into it.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the wife, Wanda,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah.
So
That
I
was
actually,
really bad. That was
I kind of
really-
summarized it. So Mario Icardi, he looked up to Maxi Lopez. It was his childhood hero. They became teammates and close friends. Then Icardi has an affair with Lopez's wife, gets Lopez's kids' names tattooed on his arm, and then marries the wife.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a trifecta, isn't it?
Come on.
That is something else.
That's a rivalry.
That's a hatred, I would think.
Yes.
There's been no rumors of Ronaldo. By the way, we've got to mention this picture behind us.
No, it's hilarious.
Maybe the worst portraits of
I would
Messi
put that on
and
my wall, though.
Ronaldo.
I would.
Nothing beats the Ronaldo statue, though.
No,
there was
the first one, right?
nothing. Yeah, that was just.
And he got all upset over it. I'm not surprised.
Well, like,
it was
I
terrible.
think they were filming him right when it was like the reveal, and you could just see he was trying to like hide his distaste.
We'll roll that in because that is just the funniest sculpture I've ever seen in my life.
Is there a way? I know you don't want to do the GOAT talk, and I don't want to do it either. But is there a way that this debate ever ends?
Probably not. Well, Messi,
Well, hasn't
Ronaldo,
it
Pele and Maradona, it hasn't ended yet,
True.
right?
Yeah.
And they're both dead.
Yeah.
So this will never end.
But this one almost seems like it kind of has, because I feel like so many people, including yourself, have been like, yeah, this one might be. Like, you're still gonna like have your allegiances,
Of
and
course.
you're
There's-
Portuguese.
everybody has
it makes
internal
sense.
bias,
Yes,
right.
but like there are so many people that like, since especially Messi has won the World Cup, they're like, I might like Ronaldo more as a player and the way he plays, but Messi is the better player. Like, I've seen the shift.
What if Ronaldo wins Euro next year and Messi doesn't win Copa?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't? Some
I don't
people say
think
it
so.
does. Two major
For
international
in terms of
championships.
the GOAT conversation and the debate, sure, that adds a little bit more fuel to the fire. But
I
I
guess
think
Messi
we,
has Copa as well, doesn't he?
yes, we. I
Yeah.
mean, like, what sucks about this Messi Ronaldo debate, and I think a lot of people are missing the boat, is you're forgetting to appreciate these guys while they're here. I keep mentioning this. I've said this to you before. You know, debate. Next thing you know, they're both out of football. They're both not playing, and then it's like, I should have paid more attention to these people, or more attention to this guy playing.
We've lived in like the best generation in
Yeah.
terms of like what football has given us. Like seeing like these two play at the same time. I mean, like I don't even have words.
Well, what's
because,
next?
Like,
What's next? Who's the next great rivalry in soccer?
I honestly, truly
that's
don't
a good
think there's
question.
going to be a rivalry like to this level, maybe in my lifetime again.
Yeah.
Maybe down the road, sure.
who?
But truly between these two, not only because of the rivalry itself and like Barcelona and Real Madrid, but also how good both of them were. Like, I don't think there's going to be a player as good as Messi again in my lifetime. No way.
Plus, I think they blossomed during social media as it grew as well, right? Before these two, it wasn't what it became, right? Moving forward, I mean, yeah, arguably the two greatest players of all time playing head-to-head 37 times over their career. It just doesn't happen, right? You talk about Haaland and Mbappe. Well, Mbappe has to move to Real Madrid first of all, and then Haaland would need to move to Barcelona to face each other so often, right? There'll be great rivalries, but yeah, this I don't see happening for a very long time.
Do you count that 37th match?
No, it's the All-Stars against PSG.
PSG.
Yeah.
Which we watched. The
You know who
first
does
half.
Yeah.
count it? Ronaldo.
He does.
He
Oh,
scored
totally.
2 goals.
Yeah. But he said it's over. The rivalry's over.
And when CR7 says, in the third person, I may add,
Oh yes.
that the rivalry is over, the rivalry is over. Room 442 is brought to you by North Star Bets. That's a win.